Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to this webinar. So let's get started. Let me just share my screen. And voila. All right, thank you. Here it is. Our topic for today will be how you're going to stand out and attract clients. And in doing so, we'll be building an irresistible brand as a coach. All right, so let me just introduce myself for a moment. My name is Irresistible Rivera. I'm a business development consultant, digital skills trainer, speaker, and a coach. To show you or to tell you a little bit something about myself, I've been in the online industry since 2013 and I love everything about it. In fact, I started as a virtual assistant until I upskilled and became a consultant because my passion is really into business development consultancy. I also homeschool two beautiful girls right now. The one on the upper left is my granddaughter. She's less than 2 years old, and my daughter below, she's 10 years old, and Oleg has been homeschooled ever since she was little, so she never get to experience the regular school. All right, and my passion is, as I've told you earlier, is about business development consultancy. But aside from that, I'm also doing digital skills training through the government agency here in the Philippines called the Department of Information, Communications and Technology. That's the department that helps develop the ICT industry here in the Philippines. So we are in the in one of the projects that's being called the Digital Jobs PH Training Program, whose aim is to develop the jobs that are being available for all Filipinos online. So that's one of my job right now. And of course, in doing so, we were able to build a national-based cooperative owned by mostly graduates and trainers of the Digital Job PH program. Right. Next. One of my advocacies is, of course, online freelancing. That's most commonly known as online freelancing, but I prefer to call it the online professionals industry. Because I started as a virtual assistant, I know for a fact how hard it is to, get started online, build your brand, and find your niche, stuff like that. So without my other advocacies, without my passion for sharing the online opportunities that I found as a virtual assistant at that time, I may not be able to to stay until my 7th year. Aside from, of course, the virtual assistant industry that I am helping out, I am also very active in the homeschooling community, where I also give training to the parents and the homeschooled kids. Of course, my forte is into technology, so I'm teaching them graphic design, basic coding, video editing, stuff like that. And of course, we do a lot of field trips together. That's prior to COVID. Right now, we're resorting to online classes. And so together with my activities in the homeschooling community, the homeschooling moms, and the virtual assistant industry, I'm also, of course, training, as I've said, doing the digital skills training through the Department of Information and Technology. And of course, my clients, mostly coaches, speakers, and writers, and also micro and medium entrepreneurs here in the Philippines who are building, different kinds of businesses online. So without these three advocacies, I wouldn't have stayed, this long, because these advocacies kept me going. These advocacies fueled my desire to continue and help others build their brand online. Now let's get started. What are we going to learn today? Today, we're going to learn how we are going to build a powerful brand for you as a coach, how you're going to stand out and brand yourself as a coach, how you're going to craft and communicate a message that your client understands, and of course, the 5 simple steps to get a consistent pool of clients that you love. All right, I hope you're as excited as I am to get started. Here, let's start by discussing what makes us different. We always hear the word unique. We often encounter the word, you need to stand out. You don't have to become like them. you know. And in doing so, there's so many things that are going on, and it makes us harder to identify what makes us different, what makes us stand out. You know, I was reading a book by Sally Hogshead. She wrote the book, How Others See You, and the Seven Fascination Advantage. So in this book, she explained that there are seven seven fascination advantage that we all have. You know, most people, or all of us, share these seven fascination advantage, and it's natural to us. And what's good about it is that because it's natural, we can take advantage of it. You know, we can use it to communicate to others. Let me share the next one. This baby is cute, isn't she? Just like babies, we are born with natural fascination. It's like we are bewitching everyone that can see us. Um, can you imagine yourself looking at babies, no matter what color these babies are, they're still cute. Whatever they're doing, whether they're crying or smiling or pooping or whatever it is that they're doing, or simply playing, or just, you know, looking at things and they're very much amazed, they are naturally fascinating. And just like these babies, we're born with we are born with that natural fascination inside us. We just don't know it, or we might have forgotten it because we're not babies anymore, and we're so engrossed in other things, we forget to take a look at what makes other people fascinates with us, right? So let's try and take this test. I have this test that I want to give you. This is the brand fascination test. Let me just try to click this one more here. One moment. Right. Okay. This is the How to Fascinate website, and they are going to ask you a few questions on how you're going to fascinate others. These questions are just 28 items. I hope you take time to answer this, because once you do, you are going to realize that this is you. This is how others see you. And this is how you should communicate with others. So you're going to fascinate them, right? Now let's go back to the presentation. Oops. And I hope you take time, at least 10-15 minutes of your time, to take the brand fascination test, and you'll be amazed at the results. Okay, I always give that to my clients, and every time it never fails to amaze them. Right, next. According to Sally Hogshead, there are 7 fascination advantage. Okay, there's 7 of them. The first one is innovation. Innovation is the language of creativity. In most of my classes, I normally discuss the 8 multiple intelligences by Howard Gardner. These 8 multiple intelligences, as I've noticed, is mostly in relation to how we fascinate people. For example, if you like arts and you're very much inclined into anything that you wanted to do with your hand, you're so good with your hand, you are creative in nature. And so if you're doing something, for example, you're pitching something, let's say you're selling something, and you're going to use the innovation approach, or the power of innovation, or all of the adjectives that concerns innovation, you're most likely to sell that item rather than selling that particular item, for example, using its features and its technology. You know why? Because it's natural for you to become creative, and you like talking about it because you yourself is more inclined to it. You know what I mean? When you talk about art, it feels like you're floating in the air. It feels like you're so happy about it, and your face glows, and all the words are naturally there. You don't have to think about it anymore. It's just there. You just have to pick it up, right? There are other people that are also more inclined to their passionate side, to their emotions. When I took the test, one of my fascination advantage is passion. So passion, passion, fascination advantage are those people who are most likely to see things on the emotional perspective. My husband and I are always, um, arguing about how we see things differently, because he is an alert personality. This one. So he sees things on their features, on how things are working, on the details. But I see things on the emotional side. For example, we're on a date and we're drinking coffee and we have a cake. I like the idea of me pouring the coffee and putting some creamer, or slicing the cake. I love the idea of enjoying every moment of it. But he just wants to drink the coffee. He just wants to do his stuff. We can talk, and he's always alert at everything. He can see what's happening around us. If there are people running, if there are people approaching us, he sees everything, and I don't. I'm just engrossed in my coffee and my cake. So that's how different alert and passion is. You know what I mean? So if you are mostly inclined in your passion, fascination, advantage, you're most likely to talk about emotions. So if you're going to pitch about something, most likely you will also attract those people that have the same fascination advantage as you are, which is passion. So these are mostly the emotional people. I used to call it the, what's that? Hopeless romantic. And I hope that's not true, but yeah, I used to joke about myself about that I am a hopeless romantic person, because I always see the emotional side of things. So I'm trying my best not to be too emotional in times of crisis and in times of needs. But whenever I pitch, whenever I say something, whenever I need some people's approval at something, it's better that I use the passion adjectives in order to gain people's attention, in order to influence them. Right? There are others who have this power or this confidence. Power or confidence are the words, or these are the people that when they walk inside the room, everybody stops, and then they will just look at that person, and they have to listen, because even though that person hasn't spoken yet, they are obliged to listen, because they can feel the power, they can feel that strength that that person brings. Most likely these are people that has leadership positions, that have already managed a business or have already proven something in their lives. So they are powerful people. And when you talk and when you are into a power, fascination, advantage, and you talk to other people, you need to talk with dignity, with confidence, and people will surely listen to you. All right. Other group of people are those who have the prestige advantage. The prestige fascination advantage group of people are the people who are inclined into excellence. I used to tell my sister that she is one of the prestige fascination advantage people, because whenever she um, she, let's say, creates or organize an events, she always looks into the details, like what are the decorations that she's going to make, what are the food that she's going to prepare, who are the guests, where they're going to sit, what will be the setting. She's thinking about everything else. That's how she is. And I tell her all the time that she is a prestige person, because she likes to be excellent at things, at everything that she does. She has these certain standards that I myself doesn't have. I don't have it. Right. Next, people have this trust fascination advantage. They have the consistency. People that has the trust fascination advantage are consistent people. I have this friend of mine that she's always consistent. Whenever she's doing something, she always consults me, and it's very predictable for her that she really cannot um, cannot do a major decision without asking me if that is something, you know, good or what. She always asks my opinion before doing something, and I trust her with all my life. In fact, we do business together, and she knows, you know, all my information, and she knows how I work. And because of that trust that I have in her, because she is very, you know, predictable in most times, I can trust my whole business with her. And that's how we get to work. So if you have that trust, fascination advantage, and you're pitching something, you might want to also ride on or piggyback on that trust advantage of yours, right? The next one is mystique. My husband is mystique. He rarely talks. I also have another friend who's mystique. But she also rarely talks. But when she talks, you're gonna be waiting for something sensible to come out of her mouth. She is not the one that would talk person first in a discussion type. But she will most likely talk last once she hears everything, once she heard all of the ideas, and then she's weighing that on her mind right before she gives, you know, or she throws in a, an idea. And because she's so good at listening, which I am not, you know, because she's so good at listening, she tends to balance everything, you know. I tend to talk first, and this is something that I am also trying to improve. I need to bite my tongue like this every time that I need to listen to someone, because listening to someone is also a skill. Not everybody has that, and if you don't have that, that is something worth developing. And again, alert, I discussed that to you earlier on when I said that my husband is alert. Alert fascination advantage is the advantage wherein most people talk about the details. They're detail oriented. Mostly these are the engineers, the people in the law enforcement. You know, they're very much keen in everything that's going on around them. So these are the 7 fascination advantage according to Sally Hagshead. Let's go to the next slide. And according to her, there, we have innovation, the language of creativity; passion, the language of emotion; power, the language of confidence; prestige is the language of excellence; trust, the language of consistency; mystique is the language of observation; and alert, the language of details. Now, these 7 fascination advantage, when combined, she says, according to Sally, we all have major 2 fascination advantages. And if we combine these 2 and use the adjectives to our own advantage, for example, in creating a sales page copywriting material, then we are most likely to connect or to communicate to our audience, to our target audience. So we are also most likely to appreciate what we are and look at other people differently. Because when I didn't know this before, I look at other people like, oh, this person is so quiet, or I would say that this person is always talking about, let's say, detailed things wherein I can see, you know, I can see differently. And right now, I can rationalize that maybe because he's talking about the details because he's an alert advantage, or maybe because that person is quiet because he has the mystique advantage. And even though you're quiet, you can still make use of that. You can still take advantage of that as your fascination advantage. See, when I realized that these 7 advantages can be put together, it made me realize that there's no way that people will not listen to us, because you will always attract someone, people that have the same fascination advantages you are, or people that sees you that way. So in creating copywriting and messages to your clients, all we need to do is to take the test from Sally Hogshead, the Brand Fascination Advantage. She has free the Brand Fascination earlier that I gave you, the link that I showed you. That's for free. But if you want the more detailed test, she's selling it, I think for $50. But you might want to take a look into her website. You can just type Sally Hogshead in YouTube or in Google, and you will be able to go to her website and check out her page there. And no, I'm not an affiliate. This is just something, this is just a tool that I am using in all of my clients in order for me to help them discover how they're going to fascinate their audience as well. So I hope you like that part. Let's see. Now about brand story. I'm also using a 7-step brand story creation. Since we already know the brand fascination advantage of each of us, what's also important is to create a brand story that your target audience can relate to, right? So what are those? Well, the first one is to establish your character. Who are you? What kind of person you are? And then we need to define a problem, your problem. And then we need to define a lesson, the lesson that you've learned from that problem. And then action, what did you do? What action did you take in order to resolve that problem? And when you took that action, when you did it, what are the failures and the successes that you encountered? And then because of the action that you took and the failures and successes that you experienced, you had a transformation. You experienced transformation that you can now relate to your clients, that you can now tell your clients. You already have a journey where that your clients can relate themselves with. Now let's try. This is PL Cadilla. She's one of my clients and she's also a coach. Let's check her journey. She has a very interesting brand story because she's from Malaysia and she's very, very good. She has this entrepreneurial mindset and she's very idealistic. She's a woman advocate. So she likes empowering women. And she saw the need for more women influencer and more women in government positions because, as according to her, the world is practically dominated by men, and we need more women in leadership positions, right? And because of that crave to empower women to influence government policies and promote a better tomorrow, she sees that as something that she wanted to do. She feels that is something that will fulfill her, okay, will give her that fulfillment and that satisfaction. So she made that her mission. And so what she did is that she built her brand as a coach and reaches as many, and she wanted to reach, of course, as many women as possible. So she built her brand, she built her website, and she also took a coaching certification just so she can start coaching women. And she was not progressing as expected due to her full-time job initially, because she has a regular job. She was a marketing manager or brand manager in this big company in Malaysia, or no, not big company, an organization like an NGO, a non-profit organization in Malaysia. And so because of her work, it's hindering her growth to her business. But then when she was able to pull it off, her website was finished, she was able to finish her certification exam as well as a coach, and she was able to tap more women entrepreneurs, more women who wanted to empower themselves. So when that started, she never looked back. She just kept on launching different programs from one program to another to reach more women, who wanted to empower themselves in different sectors, in politics, in business, in life coaching, and in everything else. And PL Cadilla has been working with me for almost 6 years now, and I've seen her journey to online entrepreneurship and to the coaching industry. And this is just an example of PL's podcasts, and it's called The Societal Shapers, and her website as well. So you might want to take a look at it. It's plcadilla.com, and her podcast is available in in Spotify. So you can check it out. It's called Societal Shapers. Excuse me. Next. Well, another client of mine, his name is Oliver. He's a coach, but he's a different kind of coach because he used to be or he is a piping insulation supervisor. So what he does is he wanted to coach more people in his industry so that they would be able to level up their career. So they would be able to demand for a higher pay from the companies that they're applying for. So Oliver came to me in around end of May, and he has nothing. He only has Facebook page, has no website, he has no course. But then we were able to work on it. He was able to launch his course only after 2 months. 2 months of working with me, we were able to finish his website with the help of my team, of course. And he was very coachable. He is very hardworking. He creates all those courses in just a month's time, and we were able to launch his first online course, online piping insulation course. I think it was in July 4th when we launched it, and we started working May 30th. So June, July. Yeah, June. Yeah, it's just about less than 2 months. See? And what's important is that when we are creating a brand, when we are communicating a message to our audience, we need to be consistent in all our materials, in the events, in videos, in social media, in brand collaterals, and in all the graphics. So as you can see here, he is very consistent in terms of color, even in the shirt that he's wearing. And this is a video animation actually, but I won't be able to play this one today. So, but this is what his website looks like. This is a sales page. I took this from his sales page, the sales page that we use for the course. All right, so I just want you to understand that when you're building a brand, there needs to be consistency, not just in terms of wordings, but also in terms of color and in the message that you convey, in the values that you uphold for. So clients are also very much aware of that. They are looking into that. Now, as promised, I will be sharing you the 5 simple steps to get consistent pool of clients that you love. For, of course, clients that will also love you back and would appreciate what you do for them. Now, first, plan. So that's step 1. Step 2 is you have to do it, of course. Next, step 3 is you have to keep doing it. You have to keep it consistent. And then step 4 is you have to track it. And then step 5, you need to improve it. Now it looks very simple, and you will say, yeah, it's easier than done. So let's make it even simpler. Of course, you need to plan. Where are you going to, what type of activities are you most comfortable doing? You think, where will you thrive? Would you like to do videos, more organic posts? Do you have budget for ads? Would you like to go to marketplaces? Would you like to message a lot of people using Messenger? Would you like to send emails, cold emails, or would you like to host events, online events right now? Because whatever it is that you will choose, you have to do it consistently. So the first thing that you need to do is to plan. What are the things that I am willing to do on a daily basis? So where are you good at? That's the next question. If you're good at creating posts, you might want to start, creating posts. Go out in Facebook group and share them, and then talk to people, build relationships. If you're good at making videos, then go ahead and make videos. Just make sure that you are willing to do it on a consistent basis. All right? And you have to track them on a daily basis. So this is just an example of a tracker where you can, track all of the connections that you're making. Are they in groups? Are they from social media posts, reach outs, cold emails? And in here, if you want to use this tracker, I'm sending it to you for free. So you can just download it from the link below. So just click that and you'll be able to access this free daily marketing tracker, right? But in order to be consistent, you have to track consistently too, right? And you have to be able to tell the difference. So this is an annual tracker that the other one is a daily tracker, but this one is an annual tracker that gives values to how much time or how much money is the equivalent of the time that you're spending in your marketing activities. So again, this is also for free. So I'm sending the link that you can also click below, and feel free to edit this according to your liking, according to the needs of your business. All right, so all I'm saying is that this is one way. This is your scoreboard. This is your benchmark. You need to have this data in order for you to decide in the future on what you're going to keep, what you're going to improve, and what you're going to take away. All right. Oh, there you go. And after doing it, for example, give yourself 3 to 6 months. Once you've given yourself 3 to 6 months, you will be able to see where are you thriving, what are working, what are the things that are working and what's not. 3 months, 6 months max. All right, just keep going, and then you keep the things that are working well, and you ditch those that are doesn't doing well. All right, and I hope you were able to enjoy this webinar today. And if you have questions, feel free to message me. I have a contact form below. Just send them to me, and I'll be able to read your messages. And also, I'm inviting everyone to check out my 90-day coaching program. This is a 2-in-1 coaching program for business development, planning, and coaching at the same time. So in 90 days, we're going to build your business from scratch. So if you don't have a website yet, if you don't have a branding yet, don't worry, because we are going to discover that, and we're going to build that, website or business foundation together. So just hit me up, send me a message, and let me know how I can help. So that's it for now. And thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. Bye.